All right, guys, so I watched The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 5. As always, spoiler alert, not just for this episode, but for the game, The Last of Us Part 2 as well, which will undoubtedly end up spoiling the rest of this series. So, we only have two more episodes left in this season, and I feel like I already know. I can say how I feel right now, and I think it'll probably end up being reflective of the season as a whole. At the end of the day, is this a good show? Yes. But is it kind of lacking as an adaptation of The Last of Us Part 2? Also, yes. It's just a lot of the changes that they've made so far, in my opinion, just make it feel like a watered down version of The Last of Us Part 2, right? All of the chronological changes that they've made, all of the explicitly telling you the themes of the show. I just much prefer the way that the game approached it, where they make you really go through the grief over Joel's death along with Ellie without telling you everything, which then allows you to truly be right there with Ellie, right? You want to get revenge with Ellie. I just feel like them telling people right off the bat why Abby is killing Joel, why they're all killing Joel. I don't know. At least for me, it really undercuts the point of The Last of Us Part 2, which is to then right as you're in it, right as you're angry, after you've killed all of Abby's friends, they then immediately switch over to Abby's point of view, and then they force you, right? They challenge you to find some amount of empathy with Abby. I just find that to be a much more compelling way of doing things, and I don't. The series so far hasn't changed my mind. That being said, as I've said before, it's its own thing. It's fine. But do I prefer the game over the show? Yes, yes, I do. Anyways, let's get into this episode in general. So, they give us the Spore origin story because, of course, one of the differences between the game and the series is that you can't get the zombie virus just by breathing it in the show. At least not up until now. I mean, it's kind of funny that they felt the need to give it an origin story. I don't know that it was necessarily necessary. I feel like they could have just like fell into it and we could have gotten the gist of it. Like, oh shit, this strain of the virus is spore based. But it's fine, and it does make for an interesting callback near the end when they actually go into the spores, where you actually see that lady's son. I actually don't hate the decision overall to not introduce the spore until the second season to make it feel like it's having like a really big impact. I still think that Ellie and Dina are honestly better in the show than in the game. That is the one thing that I will give the show.